Hello everyone and welcome back to the F1 Ultimate Career here in 2012. Today it's time for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the fourth race of this season. We're back here in Sakir after a one-year break in 2011, and here in 2012 it's still before it was transitioned to a night race, so that might be why it could be a little bit unfamiliar to you guys from that picture. So yeah, we'll see it in all its glory in the sunshine, I'm sure, this weekend. But yeah, last time out in China was a little bit of a quiet race, not a lot going on, but we did finish 5th, and that's the best result of the season so far for us. But it's even better for Kimi Räikkönen, only his 3rd race since coming back to the sport, and he's already won, and he's actually in 2nd place in the championship, 15 points behind Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren. And Fernando Alonso finished outside of the points, so that was the first little setback of his title challenge. So yeah, let's see what happens here in Bahrain. I've done a little bit of tweaking to the database, maybe trying to make the midfield a little bit quicker, but yeah, let's find out. Let's find out what happens today. I'm really excited for this one. Hopefully Bahrain supplies the goodness. All right, I'll see you guys for qualifying. Well, another day, another qualify session where I missed the apex of the last corner as we finish our first banker lap here. It's good enough for 5th at the minute, 5/10 off the pace of Pastor Maldonado at the moment. I've cut out the nonsense, I've gone straight to options this time. I've kind of learnt from my experimentation that it's just not worth going out on primes. The Sauber's not quick enough to get through solely on primes, so yeah, we're gonna have to go again as we have Kubica impeding us a little bit there. It actually wasn't too bad in the end, so we'll let him off. But yeah, we're actually down by 3/10 at the moment, so it might be quite hard to recuperate this pace. Let's see how we're getting on by the 2nd sector. And that is that. Bahrain is very well known for its auto spin curves. I mean, that was more of me just getting a little bit too trigger happy on the loud pedal, so yeah, that was human error. But yeah, this track is still very susceptible to auto spin curves, including this one here. You've got turn 4, which is especially bad. I'd be very surprised if that one doesn't catch me out at all this weekend. So we've got one more. Yeah, got one more lap of fuel in the tank, I'd say. One more chance to get something done on these tyres. Let's just let Kubica through, because he's probably going to be quicker in that Ferrari. We can use him to slipstream. All right, one last chance on these options.
Okay, you need to come in before you run out of fuel.
Oh my! Hello, Al Ghashwari, my old friend there. Jesus Christ, that was close. I think, yeah, we're miles off it.
Temperatures are looking really good.
Let's just bring it in, shall we? A little bit of damage limitation. Al Ghashwari nearly pulling out straight in front of us, so would be the first time me and him have collected each other in qualifying, is it? So yeah, let's bring it back in, and I don't know, we might have to go back out, you know, on another set of options, which is definitely not ideal. I might as well just start on primes if my first option run's going to be this bad.
Good work. We're through to the next session.
Alright, good. We can breathe. We didn't have to go out again, luckily, but we're down in P11, so it's not the best, but yeah, under 5/10 away, and we're down in 11th again. Credit to the field spread in this season, but let's see who's setting the pace. It's Pastor Maldonado who is setting it early on, so let's see if Williams can keep up that pace heading into Q2, but let's see who won't be joining us. And it's Kimi Räikkönen. The highs and lows of this sport on full effect here. Well, Kimi winning in China and then out in Q1 here in the very next race here in Bahrain. That's absolutely mental. He's just been pipped by Daniel Ricciardo in the Toro Rosso. So Raikkonen joins the likes of Grosjean, D'Ambrosio, Bird, Turvey, Danny Close, who's back after marching Hua replaced him in China, and Luca Filippi is right at the back. So a full HRT row 12, sadly, but yeah, Raikkonen out, an early championship contender here. It seems to be a pretty big surprise, getting knocked out every Q1 so far, so at least it's exciting in that regard. Let's see what happens here in Q2. Alright, that's a little bit better. Let's see what the time's saying as we cross the beam this time.
That's put you up to 9th place.
Okay, 9th. Not bad. We're sitting pretty between De Resta and Ricciardo, so yeah, I think Vettel and Rosberg are right on the cusp, as I say that we're right on the cusp now. So have we got enough fuel?
If we don't get into 10th or higher, we won't progress to the shootout.
Yeah,
Give it your best shot.
Let's nip and tuck. Let's see how we're doing after this first sector. Is that's a bit too wide, and the pit has come on, and the lap's gone. So yeah, are we going to have to use all of our options here before Q3? Well, we have to get to Q3 first, as yeah, we've been shuffled down to P12 now. We've got Petrov ahead of us, who's okay, fair play to him, he's in P6. Perez goes into 13th place after improving, down to 13th now. It's just getting worse, so we are going to have to go to another set of options here if we want any chance of making it to Q3. This is probably the first time that we've kind of struggled properly in qualifying so far. Alright, this is it. Let's get Rosberg past us. I believe that's Rosberg. Yeah, he's in 7th, so he's doing quite well at the moment. We've only fueled enough for one flying lap here, as we've kind of seen that the tyres are only really good enough for one flying lap. So this is it. We need a really good improvement here if we want to see ourselves be part of Q3. Thank you, Andy, for stating the obvious. But because of the field spread, even if we find...
There are 5 minutes of the session remaining.
Yes, Andy, just talk as soon as I go through Q1 on my most important lap of the session so far. But yeah, even if we find 3 or 4 tenths here, you can see us fly up the standings. So we need to get this right. Well, not going to help by doing that, is it? Oh, it's so close to being an improvement. What is going on up here, though? A huge traffic jam ahead of us. Rosberg's been pretty badly impeded by all of that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate getting around the whole ruckus there. Not quite sure what was going on there, but come on, this is it. Can we find an improvement? No, we can't. 25 thousandths off, and it's going to be 13th at best. That is a real shock. It's going to be the first time I haven't made it. Actually, no, that's a lie. I didn't make it in Australia, did I? Yeah. No. What am I on about? My head's gone. P13. Ah, that is a real shame.
That's the session over for us. We're just 3 places inside the drop zone. 13th. Bad luck.
Yep. Cheers, Andy. P13 it is for us today. Clearly our worst qualifying performance of the season so far, but good for Massa to get in there for the team. So yeah, not great, but it could be worse. We could be Sebastian Vettel. He's ended up in P17. Not quite sure what happened to him in that session. He's just behind Daniel Ricciardo, and we've got both Toro Rossos down here, both Force Indies, and then Paul Di Resta just ahead of us. So Maldonado, who's squeezed into Q3 this time round, and Alonso is back up to the top of the standings. So yeah, let's see who gets on pole in Q3. We're obviously not going to see because they're not participating. So we'll see you guys in the garage for tomorrow's race. Alright guys, welcome to Bahrain. It's race day here in Sakir. 29 laps once again. So yeah, let's see what happens today after Bahrain's 1-year break. Let's have a quick look at the grid, as we didn't participate in Q3, as Mark Webber is on pole. So let's see if he can turn Red Bull's fortunes around, but he has those two McLarens right behind him who have been really, really fast so far. Felipe Alonso, well, Felipe Massa, he's up in P5, so my teammate doing very well in qualifying clearly as Fernando Alonso in P4. We got Heidfeld P6, then it's two Lotus Renault drivers, then it's Maldonado who's made his way ahead of Nico Rosberg. All right, so let's take a quick look at the strategy. As always, a two-stopper for today's race, starting on option tyres for 8 laps and then going to primes and then stopping again on lap 20 for a set of options to finish. And yeah, at least some sort of strategy could come into play today. Obviously no chance of rain here in somewhere like Bahrain. Has it ever rained there? So yeah, nothing to worry about in that regard. But yeah, P13, not great. We need to keep it clean at the start and try and make our way towards the top 10, because we've clearly been faster in race pace rather than qualifying trim, which hasn't really been the case in the last couple of seasons. So yeah, actually getting to show off my racecraft, so that's nice. As yeah, that makes a nice change. Anyway, I will see you guys on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's go. Right, here we go. The Bahrain Grand Prix back on the calendar. Let's see how it goes for us today. All right, the lights are out, and can we get a good start? We need a good start if we're going to make any decent progress. As yeah, the second phase is always where it gets us, but we want to save some curves for later on in the lap, as Massa's been shoved out ahead of us, as we kind of got shoved out too. But Rosberg coming back, nearly getting clouted by Perez, who's had a good start. He started behind us. So, oh my God, here comes Romain Grosjean from 19th, I think, as he's up into 14th now. So great start from the Caterham drivers. Perez and Alkhashari getting very close to one another there, as Alkhashari gets up into the top 10. Sorry, so that's good for him. Thank you very much. And we're going to go up the inside of Sergio Perez, who is kind of faltering after his little scupper with Alkhashari there. So we're up into P11, really good start. That's exactly what we needed, and someone like Alkhashari, we should be able to make light work of him to get up into this top 10. We've got Rosberg behind us, who's no slow passenger. So let's see what we can do, and this is exactly why we've saved some curves to try and keep up with the guys ahead of us, because the AI are normally very fast in these first few laps. As Alkhashari had a bit of a nothing move on Kubica ahead of him, so he's kind of lost some pace here. Can we find a way past perhaps? No, not quite. Car full of fuel, not quite. Can't even get my words out. Not quite matching that apex, as kind of struggled with that corner all weekend long. But that's one lap in the books nearly, as a run wide once again. Those last two corners clearly something I'm struggling with. But yeah, on to lap 2. Mark Webber's still in the lead of this race. I think my teammates gone from 5th to 7th, which isn't great, but
you're in his dirty air. You've lost some front end grip.
We were catching up to Alkhashari without DRS there, which does bode well for us actually. I think Massa's just lost another position there. So here we go. Everyone checking up, as Alkhashari is actually going to go defensive for some reason, and that's us up into P10. We've got to give him some room, as he's still there. But yeah, very nice. Up into the top 10 now. Let's crack on. Oh God, getting a little bit optimistic on the gas pedal there, as I think Petrov just lost 2 places to both Maldonado and Massa. Maldonado up to 6th now. A really good start from the Venezuelan in his Williams, as yeah, the midfield definitely taking a clear step forward, which is what I wanted in my little tweaks I did before the weekend. So that's good to see, as Alkhashari's now joined the party right on cue. But yeah, oh God, yeah, the car's still not feeling great.
We can't afford to lose too much time. Go for the overtake.
I'm going to try, Andy. I'm going to try. But Petrov clearly struggling at this moment in time. I'm sure Kubica will make light work of him soon, and then we can make our way up even further into this top 10. But already lap 4, and there's some good racing going on up ahead. Now here comes Al-Ghashwari. I actually don't have any curse to play around with here. Well, I didn't at the end of that lap, and I think Petrov's going to box me in here, and Al-Ghashwari is going to go round the outside. Probably a little bit timid from me, to be honest, but yeah, got boxed in by Petrov, who is always, well, obviously getting passed by Kubica up ahead, his old teammate. So yeah, we're actually out of the top 10 now, as Al-Ghashwari pulled off a nice move around the outside. But Petrov is clearly struggling in the Renault, so even if we are outside the top 10, I do believe we will get past Petrov shortly, just in case. Well, we need Al-Ghashwari to pass him first, clearly.
Okay, it looks like the car ahead is trying to create a gap. He's running full revs, maximum power.
And the same thing was probably going to happen with Sergio Perez there, but I've got to turn defence into attack, and we made a slight bit of contact again. I was kind of looking too much behind me to see what was going on with Al-Ghashwari ahead of me, but he's going defensive again up into turn 4 here, but yeah, a bit later on the brakes from the Toro Rosso, so hopefully he gets a move on so we can catch up to these guys ahead, as the top 8 is right there. My teammate Felipe Massa at the back of that train so far, so yeah,
Vern should be pitting within the next 4 laps.
That's not Vern, is it? It's Al-Ghashwari. Andy has got some sort of dementia going on. I don't really know what's wrong with him, but please do forgive me about him. But yeah, we need Al-Ghashwari to get a move on. Oh my god! Right, pretend that didn't happen. We are going to use our one flashback there. So we were riding the curb. Never had that happen to me before. I don't know really what happened. Just got stuck on it, and then it just completely spanned me off. So yeah, that's our one flashback down the drain, sadly. So won't be able to use it in case I fall foul of any auto spin curves later. So hopefully I haven't jinxed myself into getting entwined in one of those later. But yeah, forgive me for my driving so far. Oh, go on, Al-Ghashwari. He's past Kubica here. Could we be going up the inside as well? Going to be side by side with the pole. Why are you talking to me now, Andy? I'm trying to make an overtake. But that's Kubica in the bag. Don't really want to make a move there. That's a very unorthodox place to make a move. But we've taken that opportunity of Al-Ghashwari also taking the opportunity of Kubica and Massa fighting. So yeah, thank you very much. That's us up into P9 now, and we've got 3 cars ahead of us now who we could take our pick, well, take a liking to get past, but we are coming in for our first pit stop at the end of this lap, so let's see what the other guys are doing strategy wise, as that's going to be very interesting. First 2-stopper of the season, barring obviously Australia, as that was 100%, but it's the first 2-stop 50% race, so let's see what happens here. We're definitely coming in at the end of this lap. There's quite a few people into the pits as well. Oh, at the moment, I think that was Button just came in, Heidfeld, one of must have been Alonso who came in as well. We've got De Resta behind as well. We're going to rejoin around 19th, it looks like, but looks okay. Here comes Kimi Räikkönen, who's pretty far down the pecking order, probably, well, he's had to make his way up from 18th, hasn't he? So
you're on the prime tyres, only 1 stop to go.
He kind of looks like he's just got past Danny Close, which is a little bit weird. So not quite sure what's happened to Kimi so far in this race, but we've got a lot of clean air ahead of us, and we know how strong the undercut has been so far this season. So let's see if we can get a move on here. It's really important to get out ahead of Kimi, as he's obviously going to be flying with some fresh air too, and he's still on options, so need to keep him behind for now. I assume he'll be in at the end of this lap, so yeah, it's looking all right so far. Oh my god, it's happened again. Oh my god, it's happened again.
Back to the pits, back to the pits. We've lost the front wing.
I can't flashback that time. I deserve it. I actually deserve it. What am I doing? I rode the curb again. Same mistake. I've completely thrown it away. What am I thinking? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm very glad. I was very close to actually turning up. The realistic damage this weekend has had not been any retirement so far this season.
Around 5 seconds. You have a 5-second lead over Cartagena.
And I'm very, very glad that I did that, because otherwise I would be out of this race and I'd probably be the first retirement.
You should pit for repairs. Pit, pit, pit.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Andy. I need a new front wing, please, and some option tyres. Oh, this is all gone, Tim. It's all gone pots, hasn't it?
There's some traffic at the pit exit. Watch out as you rejoin the track.
Great. So we are now 22nd place. Okay. Good, good, good. Really, really good. We're on a set of scrubbed options as well.
Just one stop to go now.
Jesus, Andy. Master of deduction. Anyway, yeah, P22, we're rocking it with...
Running on the prime tyre. We have an advantage here.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, we're rocking it with the back markers now. Our race is unwound again. All down to me.
Watch
Yeah.
out for the car behind. He's only 2 seconds down on you.
I need to stay away from that curb. Please stop talking. Oh, it's so annoying. I don't... This is not the place where I want to catch Turvey, because I want DRS off him.
Away from the car ahead. Let's see if we can use DRS to pass him.
Andy's still talking this whole time, by the way, but that was a really annoying place to catch Turvey. Are you done? Are you done? Thank you. Jesus Christ. Alright. Yeah, that was an annoying place to catch Turvey, as we couldn't fully utilise the DRS. Well, we obviously wanted to overtake him, but then we wouldn't have got DRS, so couldn't really maximise the potential from that situation, but we carry on. We're up to P20, as I believe one of the HRTs has just come in. Please don't spin out again. So we've got Danny Close up next, who we were just ahead of before we crashed once again, so that's brilliant. Alright, let's press on. There we go. Pretty standard DRS overtake it should be on.
The rest will be pitting for a new set of tyres soon, probably within the next 3 laps.
Yeah, that's a pretty textbook move on Danny Close there for 19th. We're going to whack it back into Rich Mix as we've got Kamui Kobayashi up ahead in 18th place. So clearly struggling today in the Force India. So yeah, back up to Rich Mix. Let's try and get this guy.
Brilliant lap. You're driving as well as I've ever seen. This is exactly what we need until the end.
Thank you, Andy. That's probably because I'm on a set of options and everyone else is on a set of primes. But that is the fastest lap, so we can take it. But we're very much outside of the top 10. Actually, all over Grosjean here. Can we make a move right now? Maybe around the outside. I did say that was an unorthodox place to make a pass, but when you have such an advantage like that, then you have to make it stick. So yeah, up to P18 now. That's all the back markers dealt with. Now, next up is actually...
showing that the car ahead is likely to be running in fuel conservation mode. His times will be slightly slower than normal.
So yeah, okay. Kobayashi's got past both Grosjean and Danny Riggs. So yeah, should be able to make light work of the Australian here too. But my tyres are starting to fade a little bit, so I need to start thinking about when I'm going to come in. And again, a bit like Turvey, it's a bit of an annoying place to get to Ricardo Higgs. I want the DRS, but then I just want to overtake him. He's so slow. Look at him. So slow. I think I'm just going to pass him, to be honest.
That was a great overtaking manoeuvre. You made that look easy.
Yeah, Ricardo definitely helped me out there by being on lean mix, but we don't have any curves to defend, but it should be fine. Up into P17 and Vitaly Petrov.
Let's take this guy.
Vitaly Petrov is in the lead. No idea what's happened up there, but he is in the lead of this race. Bonkers.
That's DRS They're going for the overtake.
Again, Andy, it's not Duresta, it's Kobayashi, so I think you need to go see a doctor. But it's lap 17 here of the Bahraini Grand Prix. We've been eking closer and closer to Kobayashi, and we're actually going to dive into the pits at the same time. Try not to clout into the back of him, but I presume we're both putting on a set of primes to go to the end. So a race in the pit stop between us and Force India. Who's going to win? Force India. Okay, fair enough. So the battle will continue between us two for 16th place. Yep, we'll rejoin just ahead of Oliver Turvey there. So we're right behind him now, though. Thank you, Andy. We could be battling for a position here. P16 in the end, hopefully in a net position terms.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
And I think I've started to forget how to speak English. Oh my god, nearly spinning once again. I've been all over the shop today, not just in terms of my commentary. Not quite sure what Kamui's doing. No idea what Kamui was thinking there, but we're going to get the DRS. We're even going to pass him before we get the DRS open. So thank you very much. That's up into 17th as Danny Close came into the pits ahead of us. So there must be one more person ahead of us yet to stop. I believe it's Grosjean, but up next is Duresta. I can't even see him on the map at the moment. So okay, he's just going around turn 4 now. So must be a gap of around 7 to 8 seconds, something like that. But that's the goal now, I guess, to get up to 15th place. So yeah, been a really disappointing race in the end. Just human error. Can't blame it on anything apart from myself.
They're fitting the option tyre to Riccardo's car. Looks like he's going for a short stint.
Wow, we've actually made up a position back up to P16 as Daniel Ricciardo makes his final stop of his race. So yeah, this is back to where we should be at our favourite position on P16. We're not closing up to Duresta at all. I don't really have any fuel to play around with, so yeah, it might just be a case of bringing this home. Brilliant outcome from this race, from this weekend, to be honest. Jesus, it's taken us, what, 9 laps to catch up to these guys. It's actually the final lap of the Grand Prix as we finally get DRS. But DRS is going to dive round the inside, down the inside of Al-Ghashwari here. Could we pass Al-Ghashwari up the hill to turn 4 as well? Thank you very much. There's finally some racing for us to do, but it is the last lap of the Grand Prix. It's kind of for nothing as Paul di Resta going defensive for some reason into that corner as Lewis Hamilton has won the race. So obviously Webber starting on pole, then I remember Alonso is in the lead, and then Petrov was in the lead for like a lap, and now Lewis Hamilton ends up winning the race. So congratulations to him, my fellow compatriot of course, but I'm trying to fight with another fellow compatriot for this 14th place, but di Resta I think is just about going to have the pace for us today. But yeah, it's been a pretty disappointing weekend for me. Our race was going pretty well before we crashed at the infamous turn 9, turn 10. So yeah.
Up your pace, the car behind's catching you.
Don't think he is, mate. Anyway, one more corner to go of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Been a little bit anticlimactic, but there we go. Can't always be good. We've got to take the good with the bad. So there we go, P15 today. Huge disappointment. Well, there we have it, P15 in the end, the end to a really disappointing weekend, but yeah, another mistake from me in this race. I do kind of feel like these mistakes are starting to creep in once again. I thought I ironed them out in 2011, but yeah, slowly creeping back in. But I think the auto spin curbs, we could blame it on those for now. But yeah, we need to do something to turn this around. Obviously, we struggled in Australia as well, but we know we have the pace. We know that the potential is there for good results. So yeah, we just need to iron out these mistakes. But let's see what happened towards the sharp end of the field. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton won in the end ahead of Fernando Alonso in P2, and Pastor Maldonado has got on the podium for the very first time in his career. Wow, what a surprise that is. I don't know why he's ±1 laps, but don't know if that's a glitch, but P3 in the Williams, that is incredible. I'll have to fact check this, but is this the first time that Williams have got a podium in this Ultimate career? Maybe they got one in 2010, but I probably would have remembered if that happened. So massive congratulations to Maldonado there, incredible to get that across the line. But our pole sitter today, Mark Webber, could not convert his pace on Saturday. It's going to be P4 for him. Vitaly Petrov, that's a good finish to be fair, finishing in P5. Then it's Nick Heidfeld, Jenson Button, disappointing race from him. Kimi Räikkönen, good recovery from 18th to 8th, and he's finished ahead of Kubica, and at least Massa came home in the points. But Nico Rosberg and Vettel both struggling. I'm surprised Vettel didn't really manage to recover quite like Räikkönen did, but yeah, really disappointing for the German today. Sergio Perez there in P13, then Paul di Resta just ahead of us in 15th, then Alguersuari, Kobayashi, Ricciardo, and then it's the 2 Caterhams, 2 HRTs and 2 Marussias. D'Ambrosio finishing last once again. So yeah, Maldonado on the podium, I can't believe that. That's incredible, well done to him. Let's see how that has affected the standings. Alright, here are the standings after today's Bahrain Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is now 24 points ahead of Fernando Alonso, who has regained second place in the standings, ahead of Kimi Räikkönen, and then it's Mark Webber ahead of Jenson Button now, and Petrov has made his way past Vettel and Heidfeld. Then into the top 10, Robert Kubica up to 9th, and Pastor Maldonado now in the top 10 after his surprise P3 today, who's shoved myself out of the top 10, and Rosberg and Massa right behind me. In the Constructors, McLaren, yeah, definitely quite dominant in this early point of the season. They're, 42 points ahead of Ferrari, who are 1 point themselves ahead of Lotus, Renault, and then it's Red Bull pretty close behind, but they need to get a move on, don't they? 28 points today, only 1 point for the team after Massa's P10, and Williams shooting right ahead of Toro Rosso. What a great day for them today, getting on the podium. I have just checked, and yeah, that was Williams' first podium of the Ultimate career. Their best finish before that was a P5 for Nico Hülkenberg back in 2010. So yeah, congrats to them. And HRT have moved ahead of Marussia on the countback too. Well, once again, another race where I make a race-ending mistake basically. So yeah, I need to really sort this out. Definitely before Spain, but particularly before Monaco, because we've had 2 shockers there already in our career. So we really need to turn this around before we get there, and we're going to be turning up realistic damage for Spain as well. So yeah, I need to make sure that there's no mistakes around Catalonia next time out. But if you want to see us there and be notified, please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're enjoying the series, and if you want to continue watching this 2012 season unfold. And we'll see you next time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Take care.